Welcome to 5D Channels and Chats with Rachel Chamness. As a shamanic channel and mentor, I'll be sharing wisdom and healing from higher dimensions through channeling beings of light. You will also hear channels between intuitives and discussion on higher dimensional healing and channeling. You'll find links and more in the show notes, so be sure to check them. You can find me at soundwavesheal.com and in my Facebook group, 5D Daily Spiritual Healers in Higher Dimensions. Today's podcast comes from my Facebook group, 5D Daily Spiritual Healers in Higher Dimensions, where I come on live every Thursday. Hi, everyone. How are you today? Today, we're talking about how ordinary people heal in extraordinary ways. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that here we are human beings having this unique experience as a human. We are coming through as this beautiful higher light being, just like the ones that we may talk to, coming through this human life, having this human experience, coming into this world, maybe, just now waking up to spirituality or waking up to it over time, or perhaps you are a seasoned healer, perhaps you're a spiritual entrepreneur. So if you know my story, I didn't know that I had psychic abilities until I was about 44. And here's the deal about the word psychic. It really turns some people off. They kind of associate it with something like fake psychics or fake, scammers or something like that. But the word psychic is really just about our clairs, our psychic clairs, our extrasensory perception, how we see the world, how we receive information from our spirit guides and higher light beings. And so if you're a healer, then you are likely a little psychic at least. And when you're getting information from the act of healing someone, you should be getting information. You should be receiving information to tell them what to do going forward or more. And when I'm doing a session, which I call liquid Reiki shamanic healing, I use my voice a lot. Obviously, I'm a sound healer as well. And what am I doing? Am I super powerful and within this body, I know how to do all these amazing things and I'm just like, zap, you're healed? Not exactly. I am channeling it. I am just a channel. I am channeling beings of light. They come through me and I bring through their light language. I bring through their healing through my hands, which I direct by using Reiki. I use Reiki in itself is just universal light, healing from God or source or spirit. And light language is just channeling beings of the light with light codes and sounds and art and all of that. And that's all it is. And so I'm bringing that forward through my body. And because my psychic clairs are open, I'm receiving all kinds of information. So when I'm working on someone, I'm seeing their spirit guides, I'm seeing their helpers, their starseed helpers, their healers, all the beings that are around each and every one of us. And they come forward and tell me all kinds of things. I channel them, they bring through their healing through me, and then it's now recorded for the client if it is a distance session or right there on Zoom if I'm doing a Zoom session. And they come forward to help. And how do I work in shamanic realms? How do I work in multidimensional realms, higher dimensional realms? Well, by working with light beings, being connected to light beings, they show me what to do. They bring me to a higher vibration. In fact, you cannot even bring through a higher dimensional guide or helper unless you can bring your vibration high enough to connect. So that's like a huge part of it. When I teach my courses, which now my course is called Accelerated Advanced Channeling, and it brings you through all the stages from a sort of beginner to intermediate space to a very advanced space. So when I teach that, I am teaching trans-channel mediumship as part of what I teach. And what is trans-channel mediumship? Well, trans-channeling is when you let the being speak or heal through you. So that's what I'm doing most of the time. So regular channeling is where you say, oh, I'm getting this message either through a card or through images or speaking. You receive a message from spirit and you relay that message to a person. So you take all the sound or whatever way you're receiving it through your clairs, and you are kind of summing it up and giving that message to a person. Now, if that being is talking straight through you word for word, that's more trance channeling. And there are degrees between regular channeling and trance. So deep trance, deeper trance, sort of in between, where you feel like you were just channeling and then it just started coming out of your mouth. That's a little bit of trance channeling as well. So when you learn how to do that, you can also learn to bring their healing through. You can be connected to that. You can learn how to do that. And that is what I teach. So that is how an ordinary person can heal in extraordinary ways. Because who has the extraordinary ability? Who has the extraordinary, the amazing ability of bringing through high dimensional light? Who has that? These high dimensional beings. And how can we bring that through? By being the channel. So we definitely need to remember that we are just the channel. We are not the starter. This is not our light. We don't want to use our light up by using our light on other people. And that's why I always recommend Reiki, because that kind of helps you. It helps you learn how to use your own light, because you learn to direct the Reiki light, the source energy through your body, and then you can use the light from other beings the same way. And even your own modality is your own light in some way, but it's coming from your higher self, not from your physical body, because you don't want to use up your own physical body light to heal someone. That will make you very sick. So Angelica is a spiritual entrepreneur. She's taking a lot of my courses, and she helps clients heal their abundance blocks and process death and grief. That's great. See, Angelica, she's taking a lot of my classes. Love Angelica. Some in person even, because we used to live in the same town. And so you use these abilities, trance channeling, all of this to help people heal and work with abundance. And that's amazing. So what is the path, the light path that you all are on? What is the light path? I call the light path this spiritual path that you have taken on as a spiritual being in a human life. So you've decided, I'm going to come into this human life, and my focus this time, or my sole purpose, will be such and such. And whatever that is, I'm going to find it. And then you find it in this life, and whatever it is, it's something that you love. It's so fun. It lights you up, and it helps other people. So I call it the light path. So what I'm doing now, this is my full-time job now, and this is what I do. I guide people, I teach people, I do sessions, and I lead lots of healers in my TAG mentorship group, my TAG Lightworkers. And that is what I do all the time. And that lights me up. That makes me excited and happy. And I love doing it. And work every day is so fun that I have to make myself stop. So that is how ordinary people heal in extraordinary ways. We are channels. We bring the healing through. We bring the messages through. And as healers, we should be getting messages. We need to get those messages for people. Healing someone is not a process where a person comes in with 20 years worth of mess, which we all have that, or 50 years of mess or whatever. And you come into the healing, especially if it's your first healing in a long time, and then the healer is supposed to just fix you and you go on your way like you went through the car wash. It's not exactly like that, is it? You have to be involved. And as a channel, as I'm channeling these light beings, channeling this healing, light codes, upgrades, all of this that I do in sessions, I'm working with the client's higher self. That is what I'm doing. And the beings, of course, are showing me these different realms, showing me these alternate lives, showing me these past lives, showing me this future of whatever timeline this person's on, or maybe showing me several different timelines, showing me how it could work, letting me tell this person, this is what you have to do. There's a timeline here, and this timeline looks awesome, or this timeline looks terrible. You need to do such and such to make sure you're on the right timeline. This is really important information, and you should be able to bring this information forward. And the more that you are connected to these realms, connected to light beings, well, the more that you can do this, the more that you'll be able to bring all of this extra stuff through. So if you're feeling right now in your sessions that they're just not moving fast enough, or you feel a little bored, that's sometimes an indication that there's something new for you to learn. It's sort of like your future self is saying, remember when we used to do it like this, it wasn't as fun as the way we do it now. And you started getting that feeling like, I feel like I should be doing something else and I don't know what it is. So I really think that messages are important, and you can call it messages, guidance, or you can call it psychic work, however you want to call it. I mean, I really think being a channel is a type of psychic work. It's a psychic channeling, psychic healing, because what does psychic mean except that you are picking up information and healing or whatever from higher realms, from a different dimension. We are in the third and fourth dimension, and we are picking up all of this in higher dimensions. So I'd love to hear if you have any questions, and I'd love to answer them in the comments, either replay or now. And I'd love to hear what you do and how you work in different realms, and whether that means, you're aspiring and you like to sit and meditate, and in that meditation you can feel your vibration rising and you can feel yourself going in different dimensions. Or perhaps you experience it in dreams, where the dream is so real that you know that you went somewhere, or it was so real you had a visit from someone who's passed away and you knew that they visited you. Or you had a dream that was so real, but everything was different. It was like a different timeline, or an alternate life, or an alternate parallel life. These are other ways that we work in dimensions in our dreams. And I'm sure that there are other ways too that you might be doing all the time if you're not on the advanced track, if you're not doing that daily in your spiritual work. And I'd love to hear from you as well. How much time a week do you work on your spiritual work? How much time are you doing it? Are you like me, you're a full-time worker and it's many, many hours a week? Are you doing something else, but you spend maybe like an hour a day doing spiritual work? That would be great. Anytime that you do it, you take 10 minutes to sit outside and sit and invite in your spirit guides and helpers and just experience. I teach a lot about this in my Spirit Guide Masterclass. That's free on my site at soundwavesheal.com. And I'll be teaching some of that here in this group as well, in the guides. So I'll be live at 12 o'clock every Thursday, and I'll be answering your questions. And if there are ever any questions about the podcast, that's also a great idea, is to expand on that in these lives, in this group. And of course, always, always talking about ascension. So where are we in ascension? What are we doing in ascension right now? All right, Mindy writes, I am a Reiki master and death doula, constantly trying to heal myself and learn so I can serve others better. I am really trying to channel loved ones and recognize the signs that I get and trust myself. I pretty much do spiritual work 24/7 and probably need to play more. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's the way too, right? I kind of give myself that shake every now and then too, like I need to go play. Well, we do, right? So that's great. I want to hear more. I want to hear your stories. And also, I have a new partner guide who wants to come through, and I'll be channeling him. His name is Zabayo, and he is a galactical dude, and he's very funny. And that'll be coming up soon on my podcast. But if I could bring forward an ascension update right now, I just have to ask who would like to come forward. So my partner guide, I have a few partner guides, and one is Archangel Ariel, and she's right here saying she'll give us an ascension update. But I have to tell you, I don't feel like angels always give us enough information. But if she says she will, then she's pretty insistent. So I guess I'll bring her through. So this will be Archangel Ariel. Okay. Yes, you are all walking through the realms now. The timelines stretch before you, and with each word and each step and each action that you take, you are choosing a timeline. Which timeline do you wish to be on? For if you wish to be on the highest timeline, then you must watch each word you say. Where are you still speaking negatively about yourself and your situation and where you are? This is where you are right now in ascension. This is the work that must be done. You must eradicate these lower vibrational feelings, thoughts, and words about yourself. And you must set your sights higher for yourself. Yes, set your sights higher. This is a topic that Rachel discusses often, as it is one of her cards in her deck. How often are you not setting your sights higher for yourself? How often are you giving in to defeat? These are where many humans are right now. If you are not in this place, then congratulations. You are already on a higher timeline than most. The This is Rachel. I can hear her saying, I'm sorry, it doesn't sound very earth shattering, but this is exactly where we are. And this is the information that we need. And this is what we need to be doing right now. So anyway, she's showing me this card that is in my deck. That is literally, it says, set your sights higher, and it's seahorses. And it's kind of funny. I get this card all the time for people. Obviously, here it is, set your sights higher. And usually it is all about how, we often don't give ourselves enough credit that we can achieve great things. And I always get for people that no matter what it is that you want to achieve, if you have the desire, then you are able to do it. You're not being given desire from source or from your higher self unless there's a reason for it, and you've got to find it. And when bad things happen, it's not about giving up, saying, oh, well, that's it. I give up. This is not for me. I'm not good enough for this. It's about why. Why is this happening? Something bad is happening. As spiritual leaders that we are, we should be in a place where we say, hey, this crazy bad thing's happening, and I need to figure out why. Because as soon as I figure out why, I can work on that for myself, I can release it, and I can get through it, and it will be over. And I can go along with my life and my happiness. It's kind of like, oh, I'm feeling terrible. I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling sad. Why am I sad? Why am I guilty? Why? What's happening? Let's dig into this for a minute. Let's dig into our shadow work. Let's find out what is happening so that I can get past it. There's a lesson here. There's an emotion I need to release. I mean, emotions in your field are everything. That is really everything about shadow work and about protection as well, because these lower vibrational emotions in your field are what these entities that try to get into your field stick to. So if you've got one in there, that's exactly what they're going to stick to. If you go low, if you start blaming yourself, if you start saying, I give up, I'm a victim, forget it, I can't do it, then what's happening is that's perfect fodder for all of these lower dimensional beings. And they're going to jump all over that. They are going to say, oh, here we go. This is how we can get in, and that's going to bring your vibration way down. So that is what we do as spiritual leaders. We work on our stuff and we get through it and we look for the lesson and everything. And that is how we can have a beautiful and joyful life. That's how we can have higher vibrational feelings, by working through it and making this life for ourselves. Labeling good and bad are part of our challenge because what we call bad may actually be the best thing that happens to us. That's what Mindy says. And that's so true. I mean, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be teaching all this stuff. I wouldn't have my own business. I wouldn't be doing any of this if it weren't for that horrible car accident, which got me into Reiki and mediumship and healing and everything. So that's so true. Very good. I'm so glad that you all came on. Thank you for being part of 5D Daily. And thank you so much for coming. And I'll see you next week. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. And bye. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. If you are a healer or spiritual entrepreneur, present or future, I'd like to invite you to my Facebook group, 5D Daily, Spiritual Healers in Higher Dimensions, where I'll be live for more discussion and questions on Thursdays. I'll put the link in the show notes. I'm Rachel Chamness at Sound Waves Heal.